Hello, my name is Lucy Ann Holmes.
And I'm going to be reading to you today
The first chapter of my book, The Imperfect Girlfriend.
Now, I don't know whether you can see, but the im is in brackets because my character, Sarah Sargent, is desperately trying to be the perfect girlfriend, but failing quite drastically.
I used to be in a wonderful relationship with a bloke called Simon. We were supposed to live happily ever after, but we didn't. Our relationship followed the other off-trod path. It went tits up. I wish I knew when the tits started turning upward. Was there one moment between us that activated a throbbing red panic button marked doom? Or was the relationship always wrong? Was it kaput from the start, but we were so drunk on sex, 3 for the price of 2 wine offers and foot massages, that we didn't notice? Or did I just cock it all up? I bet it was the latter. I've always been particularly brilliant at cocking things up. I wish I had protected the relationship. I wish I'd nurtured it like a child. Instead, I said, where do you want to play? The building site or the road? And would you like a gun or a knife? Or how about both and some solvents? So off my relationship toddled into the middle of the M25 with a Pritt stick up its nose. But it was perfect to begin with. I remember the 1st of December last year. London was just settling into the season of goodwill, otherwise known as fraught hell. The weather had turned its usual off-white knicker grey, and it was church before breakfast cold. The papers were flooded with stories of global warming, and Simon and I had taken them very seriously. We decided not to touch the thermostat, but use our body heat for warmth and share baths. We were eco-warriors, treating our one-bedroom flat in Camden as though it was a honeymoon suite in the Maldives. Simon and I had been going out for a little over 2 months.
But we'd been great friends for 12 years and flatmates for 1 year before that.
Simon said he waited patiently for me to wake up to the fact that the love of my life was sleeping in the next room. In my defence, I've always found it hard to wake up.
Anyway, we were in love. We were in a bubble of love, floating above the seasonal mayhem.
I didn't think there could be a pin in the world sharp enough to pop it.
And I definitely wasn't aware that someone was sharpening an axe with the intention of hacking our love bubble to pieces.
I'd always hated Christmas before.
Each year, I tried to copy the gleeful expressions that women have in Boots adverts, but it's hard to experience glee when you've been queuing in Topshop for 45 minutes.
You're sweating out an office party hangover, you're just about to hand over all your credit cards knowing at least 2 will be declined,
and you're feeling a beast because you just tried on a dress that made you look like a papier-mâché Christmas bauble.
Historically, I'd endured the Christmas process by drinking through the pain,
and asking anyone who'd listen why we couldn't just chip in and buy Jesus a card.
However, last year, it was the happiest time of my life. I'd even bought an advent calendar. That was how much I wasn't hating Christmas last year. You have the first chocolate, babe,
Simon said when we opened the window marked 1. We were post-bath, swaddled in a duvet, lying on the sofa.
I'm going to massage your feet.
He wiggled himself around in the quilt so my feet were on his lap, and I bit the milk chocolate snowman's head off.
I love you, Sarah, he said. But even if he hadn't said it, I would have known. The fact he was prepared to go within 10 yards of my feet told me. I'd always had smelly feet.
This is because I'm a die-hard supporter of cheap, high-heeled shoes. My family has called me fungus foot for most of my life.
My response to this has been to tie shoes up in plastic bags,
leave them outside rooms, and then douse my honky hooves in strong man deodorant.
Simon had a far more radical approach to my feet.
He thought they needed some loving.
He would wash them in the bath and then rub cream into them as we lay on the sofa.
I love you, Simon Gusset, I told him dreamily. I didn't even flinch as I said his surname.
I just looked at his beautiful face,
with those beautiful blue eyes, and that sexy brown stubble, and the top of his muscly shoulders as they worked on my feet.
And I smiled. And then he smiled back.
And the act of looking into each other's eyes and smiling always triggered the same reaction. We had to kiss.
Kissing Simon was perfect. There was neither tooth-bashing nor dribble.
We kissed until it became necessary to stop so that we could breathe, by which time my lips were so swollen it looked like I'd been pleasuring a Brillo pad.
We grinned at each other again.
And I felt the urge to utter something brilliantly intellectual. Have I mentioned that I'm hopelessly in love with you?
The following day, things started to change.
A series of ominous phone calls were about to slyly wreck our elegant equilibrium.